Hello students, welcome to our channel Doctor's Classroom, and today we are going to see about immunology. As soon as we get into this topic, the first word which strikes our mind is immunity. It's derived from a Latin word called immunitas, means freedom from disease. It's defined as the resistance offered by the host against microorganisms or any foreign substances. And the immunity can be broadly classified into two types, as innate immunity as well as the acquired or adaptive immunity. The innate immunity is the inborn resistance in an individual which he or her possesses right from his birth. The innate immunity has certain unique properties by which it can be differentiated from the acquired immunity. It just acts in minutes. The first line of host defense against the infections occurs immediately after the microbial entry. Prior microbial exposure is not required. Innate immunity is independent of prior exposure to the microbes present even before the first entry of the organism. And then the diversity is limited. Innate immunity is active only against a limited repertoire of antigens, in contrast to acquired immunity, which is more varied and involves specialized immune responses. And it's non-specific. Cells of innate immunity are non-specific in their action, can be directed against any microbial antigens. No memory. Innate immunity does not have a memory component. Response to a repeat infection is identical to the primary response. Innate immunity may be confined to a particular species, race, or individual. Species immunity is the innate immunity towards a microbe exhibited by all the membranes of a given species. For example, frogs are resistant to Bacillus anthracis, while toads are susceptible. Then we see racial immunity. Sometimes the innate immunity is confined to a particular race, may be absent in the other communities. For example, Negroes of America are more susceptible to the tuberculosis than the whites. Then, individual immunity refers to the antimicrobial defense mechanisms that are confined to a particular individual, may not be exhibited by the others. Several other factors determine the degree of innate immunity exhibited by the host. Here comes the first factor, age. Certain infections are common in a particular age. For example, congenital infections like rubella is common in fetal life. Chickenpox and measles occur in children, whereas urinary tract infection is more common in adults. And then we move on to the next factor, hormones. Under hormones, certain hormonal disorders such as diabetes mellitus or patients on hormone therapy, example corticosteroids, are at increased risk of developing various infections. Nutrition. Malnutrition. Malnutrition suppresses the host immunity, thereby predisposes to various infections. And before moving on to our next topic of adaptive immunity, I just want to discuss a little more with you. That's about the anatomical and physiological barriers. Anatomical barriers such as the skin, mucosal surfaces have a spectrum of antimicrobial activities. And the physiological barriers that contribute to the innate immunity are body temperature, pH, and various soluble secretory products of mucosa. As we have discussed about the anatomical and physiological and secretory products of mucosa, which remains as the barriers, let's discuss about some cells which are involved in these processes. And they are phagocytes, natural killer cells, also called NK cells, mast cells, as well as the dendritic cells. Here, it may also include the types of lymphocytes. Now, let's discuss about the types of phagocytes, and they are neutrophils, macrophages, and monocytes, which involve the main process called phagocytosis. Here, we have three steps. Whenever an infection happens in our body, the phagocytes are rapidly recruited to the infection site. Phagocytosis involves the steps of engulfment of microbes and subsequent hosting in the phagosome. And then next comes the fusion of lysosome with the phagosome to form phagolysosome. And then follows the microbial killing. As said before, we also have mast cells and dendritic cells which are involved in this function. The mast cells are present in the epithelial lining of respiratory and other mucosa. They are activated by microbial products binding to toll-like receptors or by IgE antibody dependent mechanism, following which they release abundant cytoplasmic granules rich in histamine, prostaglandins, and cytokines that initiate inflammation and proteolytic enzymes that result in the killing of bacteria. And the dendritic cells. They respond to microbes by producing numerous cytokines that initiate inflammation. They also serve as a vehicle in transporting the antigens from the skin to the mucosal sites to lymph nodes where they present the antigens to the T cells. Hence, the dendritic cells serve as a bridge between innate and acquired immunity. And yes, we have come to the last session of this video. We are done with innate immunity, right? And so our next video is gonna be under acquired or adaptive immunity. I guess and I hope that you guys have understood everything which I've told before and explained you in the right way, I guess. In case of any queries or doubts, please let me know in the comments below. And for more videos, please do subscribe our channel Doctor's Classroom. Thank you guys. Bye.